everybody, it's Courtney here with RnA ReSet. And right next to me, we have Gregg Sanders. Gregg Sanders is not only the CEO of WaterTech Solutions, he's also married to Ginny Almighty and a dear friend of our friend Carolyn Dean. So Gregg, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us and talk about the RnA Drops, as well as the minerals and mineralization and what all this means and can do for you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Be glad to talk about any of my experiences. So go ahead and ask away.
Okay. Well, you know a lot about the RnA Drops, and you've been taking them for how long?
I was really privileged to be in the groundwork of it, so I'm guessing 12 years.
Long time.
10 years.
One of the longest people to be,
Yes, I was introduced to it by Bob and Carolyn Dean.
Yes. So some people refer to them as a superfood. What do you describe them as?
I don't really have a problem with calling it a superfood, other than, I wouldn't want people to have expectations before taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think what I've learned with the drops is that relaxing the mind and allowing the body's own intelligence is far more important than having some great expectation of, leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Totally fair. I think that's a great way to approach it. So what are some things that maybe you've experienced through taking the RnA Drops?
I was thinking about that earlier today, and other than, cuticles not cracking for the first time in 35 years, I think skiing was the most pronounced effect that I had, where the lactic acid buildup that I felt in my legs on the first run, which, historically was always there,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give it any attention, and it wasn't for 3 or 4 hours later and dozens of runs that I realized there was no lactic acid buildup in my legs.
Wow.
And I've been skiing since I was 6 years old, and I don't get out very much, once or twice a year, so having that buildup and that burden of trying to go down the hill with leg fatigue was pretty impressive.
Wow.
I think I enjoyed that the most.
That's awesome. Do you ski to this day?
I missed last year, obviously, but I always get out at least once or twice a year.
Look at you go. That's awesome.
It's like riding a bike, you never forget.
I love that. So, in your history, in your past, at one point you were diagnosed loosely with scoliosis. And now, currently sitting here, you're not. And this is crazy to me because I didn't even know that could just go away or no longer be prevalent in one's life. So how did that happen?
I've been going to a chiropractor ever since I was really young. I had one leg shorter than the other due to a car accident when I was very young. And to me, chiropractic was just like getting your teeth cleaned. You just do it, and it's just part of a monthly routine of getting an adjustment. And I'd taken to it quite well, and the chiropractor, had said, you got a curvature going this way. I didn't pay much attention to it. Excuse me. When I started taking the drops, I literally stopped all my supplements completely. And the drops were around well before Magnesium and Renite and all those were on the market. And I just focused on the understanding that my body has its own intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to do what it feels it needs to do much better than what I can decide with my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably completely forgot about it for 10 years. Started going back to the chiropractor a couple of years later, and he is actually a good friend of the family, and he remembered, and he said it's just completely gone. Didn't have any explanation for it other than he knows me a little bit and has an understanding of some of the philosophies that I entertain. So I guess I'm really not surprised that it disappeared, because I firmly believe that the body can do anything, produce anything, and create your own miracles as long as you just get your mind out.
Wow, how do you, truly grasp the fact that your body is so capable to do these things? It's just providing it the right nutrients.
Yeah, it's providing the right nutrients and relaxing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel at this stage in my life, I'm like Alfred E. Newman, which was a 70s and 80s cartoon guy in Mad magazine. And he said, what me worry? And I find myself, even in these tumultuous times, just not worried.
Yeah.
If there's anything that I know with a certainty, that me and the family and everyone close to me are going to be just fine. So anything I do worry about, I pay attention to, because it's usually the thing that'll never happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a heck of a journey. I've had 45 years of a health hobbyist, just looking at health trends and watching them come and go, and realize that the ultimate diet is where you love the food that you eat.
Absolutely.
In moderation.
Absolutely. Moderation is key.
In all things.
Yes, yes. Now, okay, when I first met you, I remember you telling me about this, like, crick in your neck that you had, and you said to me that it crossed your mind to rub some magnesium on it. And what was the outcome?
I do yoga. I do a lot of stretching. I can go from sitting for hours and jumping up and running into projects. And there was a kink in my neck, and the chiropractor and the massage therapist, and doing yoga just didn't get rid of it. But after a couple weeks, I just made a mental decision. I'm over this. I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And embarrassingly, a little voice in my head said, rub magnesium directly on it. And with everything I know about magnesium, I should have thought of that initially.
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 applications over 2 days, it was 95% gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And normally a chiropractor or massage or yoga would take care of it, but I had to possibly just prove something to myself.
Yeah. And so that's just like spraying it on your...
Just rubbed it on my fingers and just went up and down this side of my neck.
Just a few times a day?
Twice a day, and by the end of the second day, it was pretty much gone.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. It makes me think of the RnA lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Just rubbing it and how it helps with all the aches and pains and wherever you're rubbing it. So magnesium is it's a miracle mineral.
Yes, I can say I really haven't had any aches and pains in recent memory. When I get out of the bed in the morning, knees don't make any noise, ankles don't make any noise. I usually hit the ground running and never sore. And again, I relax my mind to not buy into the old age program, which is, when you get past 65, fill in the blank. Mm-hmm. And so I just purged all those thoughts from my mind.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Now, before we take off today, I have one more question. Since you are the water man, you know all the importance of the water from, in our pools to what we're drinking. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people say, they get the bottled spring water from their local grocery store.
Yep.
And I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, whether that was actually really good for you or maybe not so good for you. Can you give us some insight on maybe just the best type of water to be drinking?
I think the objective water is to hydrate the cells. And I've worked with people who drank distilled water for 10 years. But they charge the water and change the state of the water, change the hydrogen bonding, the theoretical angles of the hydrogen bonds in water. And they claim to be perfectly healthy. People who have put crystals in water and imbue it with frequencies, we know water is very impressionable. And, Japanese photographers have taken pictures of ice crystals of water that's been preyed upon, cursed upon, and it clearly shows up in those. So water is very adaptable. Spring water just means that the minerals that were naturally in the water, when it was in the ground, are still in the bottom. And that's probably as close to you can get as natural water, short of scooping it out of a river that's coming down the mountain. Mm-hmm. But the objective is to hydrate it. The objective is to keep the minerals in it. Not a big advocate of pH water. It makes no sense to me why you would drink water that has a pH of 12 and your stomach acid has a pH of 2. And the same goes with distilled water. Why drink water that doesn't have minerals? Water is going to dissolve everything it comes in contact with over time. So a good spring water just means it's been adulterated the least. But I tell people, do as little to it as possible. Don't get your mind involved, in water that may not be perfect for you, because your body's listening. Mm-hmm. It's hearing everything you say. I shouldn't drink this, but I'm going to drink it anyway. Mm-hmm. Well, something's listening to that statement. Mm-hmm. And it may have effects.
So key takeaway is just to listen to your body.
Listen to your body, feed it well, give it the complement formulas. The RnA drops are something that is going to work in your system slowly. Nobody likes shock or change. We don't typically allow it and have no expectations. And, most of the time you will not even notice the effects until someone who knows you well may say, well, whatever happened about this? And you'll have forgotten that that was even a problem in your body. That's most of the reports I've heard from people who take the drops.
That's amazing.
RnA stands for relax and allow too.
Yes, absolutely. Now, if anyone out there has any questions about the RnA Drops, you can reach out to us on our social media channels. You can contact our support team. You can also visit our website, RnAReSet.com, where you can purchase them. You can learn more information about them. You can check out all the other minerals that Dr. Dean has created. Thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you, Gregg, for joining us.
You're welcome.
On
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We hope the rest of you have a great day.